Hello, people. Welcome to the show. This is my fourth live this week. Kind of feels good, but I'm not sure what. Actually, I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about a few things today, and I'm going to wait on Bay 8th. Joe's supposed to be joining me, but I wanted to talk to you about a few things. First of all, I was watching a show last night, and they kept making negative comments about Texas. I grew up in New York the first 32 years of my life. And when I grew up in New York, I loved New York. It was a different place to live back then. And then the last time I was actually back to New York was in 2001. So I actually haven't been in New York in 21 years. I used to work in New York up until the age of, I lived in Brooklyn and Yonkers most of my life when I was young. And what I like to tell you about it is I'm in Texas now. Let me tell you something about Texas. If you want to compare New York to Texas or anything on the East Coast to Texas, it's insane. I live in an area where people respect one another. You can walk the streets safely. You are entitled to have any type of pistol you want. You can have guns. You can go in and actually buy a gun. No problems. You can defend your home. If someone comes into your home, you can put them down and then you can call the police. They'll come take that person away. And that's that. But another guy on another show last night wanted to keep making cracks on Texas. Do you know that Texas is the easiest place for minorities to vote in the country? Easier than any East Coast state. See, that's just a myth about the voting laws. 85% of Black people believe that everybody should have ID when they vote. This is just a scam by the media. That's all it is. And our politicians. There's no trouble voting in Texas. If you can't vote, there's something mentally wrong with you. You're entitled to free IDs. And if you're not able to think to vote and go get a free ID, you don't deserve to vote. So this person could, using all his liberals' views now, he's blast out liberal now. He doesn't give a shit. It's like, I'm a liberal. That's all I am. I'm glad he's doing it because he's not going to grow anymore. But last night, it was over the top. So I'm here to say I live in Texas. I love Texas. Everybody in the country, unfortunately, a lot of leftists are moving to Texas. But this is where people want to live now. They want to live here. They want to live in Arizona. They want to live in Florida. So when you insult this state, why does everybody want to live here? That's all. Think about that. I don't usually like to get into politics too much, and you guys know that. I'll talk some of it, and I don't deny what I am like other people used to. But now they're just blatantly out there, and they admit what they are, and we always knew what they were. But I am proud to be what I am. I am proud of where I'm living, and I used to be a very proud New Yorker. There was nothing like walking around Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst in the morning or going to a good Italian deli and getting good food. But you know what? You can't do that no more. It's not the same anymore. When I lived in Yonkers, you used to be able to go down. Getty Square was a rough area, but you could go down to Getty Square, eat food. I worked in Getty Square as a kid. But those are things you could do. But you can't do that anymore. So these are just things that I wanted to mention. Okay, and I'm not going to get into anything else that was discussed in that show because I can dissect everything and take it apart. But I'm not going to make my show like his show. I'm just going to talk about how great this state of Texas is. And it's like every state, it has its issues, but it's still a great state. And if anybody lives on the East Coast or in one of those, well, you know what kind of states they are, move to Florida, move to Texas, do yourself a favor, move out west, move out to the Dakotas, something like that. Or, I'm going to bring my guest on now after I did all that. And here's Joe.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, my man?
Listen, blame my tardiness on BK Shalin's finest.
What's up, Lee? How you doing, bro?
Who's that, BK?
That's BK.
Oh, you should have told him to jump on.
He's a scared to jump on.
I've never had him on my show.
Soon I'll hop on.
You know what it is? I got to be honest with you, Lee. He's much better looking than me and you. He'll knock us off. You know what I mean? So
it doesn't take much to be better looking than me. I'm an old fart.
yeah, well, that's true. Yeah,
Joe, you got to remember, you had some videos out there about your sexy voice.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you.
That?
Oh my God!
New Beginnings was like talking about how sexy you were and your voice.
No. It wasn't that. So what happened is NB is a friend. So I said, look, I like to watch your videos, but I can't hear myself talk so I'm not going to watch the videos then because I hate my voice. So I said, look, if you change my voice a little bit, I'll watch your videos. So now if she does a video, she's got to change the voice and I'll watch it. I actually like the sexy voice.
Well, yeah. Well, you got one of those voices that makes women and even guys want to take their clothes off.
I thought I had the voice that makes them want to put their clothes back on, but I could be wrong.
Well, Joe, you've been happily married how long?
I don't know if you could ever say someone is happily married, okay?
Oh, you're right.
I've been married for like 10 years now, so.
Okay, so you've been married 10 years. So you got married a little bit later in life.
Yeah, much later in life. And I married a young dame. That was the problem. I married a youngster, and it was uncomfortable at the beginning, but I mean, she was over 18, but
Hey, my first wife was a Puerto Rican from the South Bronx.
Nice.
It was them Puerto Rican women from the South Bronx.
Yeah, man.
But I remember the first time I went to her neighborhood and they started saying, and she started yelling in Spanish, "There's a gringo in the neighborhood. There's a gringo in the neighborhood," just fucking with me. But
I love Lee. He texts me. He says, yeah, make sure Vinny's not doing a show. I said, Lee, Vinny's always doing a show. What are you talking about? He figures if you do a show at any 24-hour period, he's on at least 5 times. So you're going to run into him. Now I have my show. I just have him come on my show. So it kind of breaks it up a little.
What the hell is this person saying? Dude, I live in Texas. Oh, NBA, that's goddamn right. I'm from Texas. Unlike this Lee Fanuc. I'm Lee. I'm not a Fanuc anymore. And, I love when they say stuff to you. Leave them in there. We need people like that. Here you can say what you want. We're not going to toss you out. Yeah, I was going to say, so you have a big lunch date today, don't you?
Yeah, man. Big lunch. I'm getting big lunch. Triple-decker turkey club. With no lettuce.
So you already got it picked out in your head.
Yeah, because it's like when you're married, you dream of going out, so you like salivate. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but who the hell gets a turkey sandwich when you live in New York?
Someone who eats Italian every day from my wife.
Good point.
I mean, if you think about it, like last night, what did I have? I had pizza. What did I have the night before? I had pizza. So it's like
Yeah, but can you ever get tired of Italian food, though?
Honestly, yeah. Once in a while, I do. Then I have to go get Chinese. I get Chinese probably once a week at least. I've cut down a little. I get hooked on things, and
I miss a really good thin crust pizza from Peppino's or Ray's. Something really good like that. I haven't had real pizza in so damn long.
There's no good spots in Texas.
You know what it is? It's the water.
Yep.
Even if you want to see, New York has the best water in the country. That's why Haagen-Dazs makes their ice cream there. You know, in Brooklyn. I don't know if they're still in Brooklyn, but they were in Brooklyn for years. But the water all comes from upstate. It's awesome water, and it's the best water for making pizza. Most people don't realize that. Same with Illinois. They get all their water from Wisconsin. So the water means everything. Like if you go to Texas, if you go to Florida, the pizza's real shitty.
Yeah, I know someone that when I was living in Vegas, his thing was he wanted to get the water sent from New York. You know what I mean? Like buy a fucking big water truck and have the shit delivered out, but that didn't work.
I just seen something good here. Where is okay, it says, how would I do living in Texas? They're going to think I'm in the witness protection, bro. I'm 100% Italian. There's a lot of Italians in Texas.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Vinny Gorgeous was down here and his guys.
And looking at Donnie Ragu and his avatar is like the Italian Civil Rights League. He's very Italian, let me tell you.
Yeah. There's a big Italian population out here. A lot of Italians from New York have moved to Texas. Matter of fact, that's why the food's improved somewhat. Because they bought their food down here.
Yeah, my wife wants to move there.
Smart thing, best thing I ever did.
Because I guess you could get big house, 8 acres of land. You could get here, forget about it. They just sent me the assessment on my house, what it's worth. And I love how they raise it up so they can raise your taxes. You know what I mean? They just pick a number out of the sky.
How much did it go up?
It went up about 30%.
Isn't that amazing, man? Owning a house
the thing is, I don't know if we could get that amount, but we're going to be paying taxes on that. So
sell your house, move to Texas or Florida. Those are the places.
The problem is my wife her family's here. Her grandmother, her mother, she doesn't want to leave her family. So I don't blame her. I love my family from a distance. Yeah, look, I lived out west for a little bit. I loved it,
Well, you've been all over the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's unusual because most of you Brooklyn boys don't even leave.
Yeah, but you know what? I actually went to Vegas. I liked it out there. It was a whole different but similar. New York is the city that never sleeps, but neither does Las Vegas. So
something weird keeps happening. I just had 90 in my room, and it just dropped to 2.
Yeah, that's been happening.
Yeah, up and down. Okay.
It might be because do you have a Facebook? People could be watching you on Facebook.
Oh, they could be, yeah.
Because what happened was I only had one last night, and then what happened was the number came back. And next to it, the one had the Facebook symbol.
Oh, so it's probably 2 people watching
Facebook. It on some other different,
Okay.
Because you can watch it on Facebook. I think that's what was happening, but I don't know.
Because I just had 90 in the room.
Right.
So, and I could tell from my chat room, I'm doing pretty good right now. Let's see. So what time you guys got to leave for lunch today?
Probably in about 10 minutes or so, 15
10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the weather like there?
Freezing and windy, but sunny.
So I'm going to talk about something. What do you think about what GoFundMe just did to these truckers that are protesting all over the country?
Okay, maybe you could explain it a little.
In Canada, they were lying. They said the truckers were causing trouble, and they've caused nothing. There hasn't even been one arrest.
Right.
So what happened is GoFundMe has $10 million that was going to the truckers to help organize everything. And then GoFundMe has decided to stop it, saying that they're stopping it because they're getting in trouble with the law. And there's no evidence. There hasn't even been one arrest. They used an excuse that they took food from a food shelter, but the food shelter was giving them food. And then a politician called up and said, "Stop giving the truckers food." And
really?
Yes. This is how evil these fuckers are. And And then after that, what they did is they decided that the place said, "Oh, we weren't giving them food." They came in there and took it. They lied, basically lied. There hasn't been one arrest, one ticket, nothing. And so Facebook has $10 million that has been given to the truckers, and they've decided that they're going to take it away from the truckers. And the truckers cannot get no money anymore from nobody. And if you don't send in paperwork to get your money back, GoFundMe decides where that money goes.
So Gazoo just said 18,000 truckers with 12 police investigations and no arrests.
Yep.
Gazoo, are you really fucking Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi? Which one?
He's right.
I know, but he has that information, which is great.
Yeah,
He's a smart guy.
there was been no arrests, not even one ticket.
Yeah.
So basically, it's scary. What they're saying is, if we protest, and if we're not BLM or one of those organizations, they're going to come after you.
Right.
They were getting all sorts of money. So these truckers, hard working, they're the backbone of America.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Without trucks,
you know what?
No food on your
I'm
shelf.
all for the working man. I'm like James Riddle Hoffa with the Teamsters.
It's just really sad. It's really sad that this is what they're doing, and it's really sad that this is what we've become. And I mean, what are you got? 105 in here right now.
But let me ask you a question. What does woke ideas mean? First of all, I'm a Republican, okay? I voted for Trump. So what do you know about me being, because I want equality for people? Okay, then I'm woke then.
No, woke's has nothing to do with equality. Woke is all about attacking people because they don't agree with those beliefs of those people. It'd be like me attacking. I don't agree with liberals, but I don't put them down unless they attack me. Like, there's a lot of great liberal views, without a doubt. But when you have some rich person, and most of these people that are woke are rich. They live in big houses.
Mm-hmm.
They live in Hollywood in these mansions and stuff. That's where they live. And they want to tell us what to do. And they have no reality of life whatsoever. None. They don't understand the streets. They don't understand what it means.
Yeah, but you see the truth. Here's what you don't understand, okay? I don't live in New York City, okay? I live in Staten, Italy, and it's much different over here, okay?
Not anymore.
Oh, yes, it is. 50%, 50.5% Italian.
Yeah, but you still.
And we do whatever we want. Hey, listen, Stanley Morgan, guess what? Joe, get a job. I don't need a job. Benny. I don't have to work.
Joe, get a job.
I don't have to work.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. I'm going to tell you something. This is the one thing about you, Joe. I'm just going to give you some advice. You let these things bother you. These losers. Losers in here.
They don't. How much you want to bet they don't bother me?
Let me finish.
How much you bet they won't bother me?
No, these guys that come in here, they say it because they're not usually in here, and they're just following you. They're just following you around,
right?
And they want to bust your balls. That's what they. We get a couple of them in here. They'll do the same thing to me, but that's what throws you off your game when you.
Right, you're good point, but I'm not off my game. On my game is getting upset. See, that's the whole thing. Because
I see you upset.
I need to I'm like lagging, and then I need someone like DPC over here to say something. You know what I mean?
Keep showing your toes.
That's it. But listen, here's what you should do. Right after lunch, talk to the people I'm with and see how much this bothers me.
Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna go there.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, he's not going to tip the waitress. He's going to take it all out on the waitress.
I'm going to take it all out on that sandwich.
You know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to go out and get a nice. I was going to cook a steak at home, but I'm going to go out and get a ribeye. I'm going to go spend $40.
And let me tell you what else I'm going to do. You don't want me chewing gum? Guess what? You see this? I'm going to take this whole package and shove it down my throat when I get off the air here.
Let me guess. Do people say stuff about you chewing?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. They don't like the way I chew. But then again, my wife says it too. Everyone says it. So I look at it like they're family members when they say it, you know?
Look, Joe vents on corned beef.
There you go. Yeah, corned beef.
And here's one of our the guys I
Hold
love.
on 1
man.
minute, Lee. Hold on.
Grant says, woke fascists these day libtards.
Ma, I'm doing a show.
See, that's real right there. That's real. We get to hear Joe fight at home. What do you think, people?
I'm going for one.
Okay, let's bet. Does he smack her? Let me catch up on some of these remarks.
Fuck off.
Woke is like hitting the map.
Donna.
Woke is like hitting the mattress in mob speak, like the one that gets on going on and just looking at the ceiling. Something like that.
Use that shit, bro. Hit him.
I'm back.
Joe, you just scared the shit out of me.
What?
Show how to get
You
real.
scared the shit out of me, Joe.
Nah, I'm good. Sorry, I should have muted it. Just my dogs down there, they're barking.
Got to understand. Oh, you were yelling at your dogs.
Yeah, they're down in the basement. You didn't hear them barking?
You keep your dogs in the basement, dude?
Because I have Mike here right now.
Oh, what kind of dogs you got?
A Maltese that'll bite the hell out of him, and a Border Collie.
That will bite the hell out of them. Border Collies,
The Border Collie won't.
but they're the most, they got, let me just ask you about, I used to have a Border Collie. Let me ask you a question about your Border Collie. Does your Border Collie really just pick out one person to be its master in your house?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's how Border Collies are. I love them. They're great dogs. But
Yep. But they're in the basement. The basement that I have is an apartment, so they're actually better than us. They're with my mom down there. So
Joe, you lived a good life. You got you live in Staten Island. You got a nice house with a basement apartment.
and
I mean, it sounds pretty.
you want to know
nice.
more?
Yes, I want to see a picture.
You don't want to see a picture.
So
Because I'll start getting death threats and stuff. Yeah.
So people know where I live. I mean, I got threatened to get beat up by a professional fighter.
Yeah. Joe the woman beater. Tell my wife that. Let me tell you. She'll fucking kick your ass. My wife's tough, man. Let me tell you. I'm not pulling that with her.
I pray that someone comes to my door. I live in Texas, not New York.
Plus, I consider myself decent with my hands, but I'm afraid of her dad. You know what I mean? I don't want to get like thrown in the fucking Kill Van Kull or whatever. You know what I mean? I got to be careful.
I live in a town. It's a little town on the outskirts of Amarillo, where everybody that walks around the street has a gun hanging on their side.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I do too.
I'm in the Old West.
Yeah, no, it's the same here too. We all do. As a matter of fact, I got a gun right next to me. You probably can't see it right now, but it's back here. Yeah, right over here. See, that's a gun. We have guns everywhere here. This is fucking Staten Italy. You gotta have them.
So, the gun laws is tough. Staten Island still goes by the laws of New York City.
Oh
right?
yeah, forget it, man. I get caught with a handgun. I'm doing 8 months.
Yep.
But I'll get to hang out with the homies. I'll catch up. You know what I mean? Get to play some hoops and stuff. Work on my jump shot for 8 months, and I'll be good.
Well, it depends where you go. I mean, if you go to Rikers Island, you're not going to be good.
Oh, Rikers, I'll be great in Rikers. Let me tell you. My dad was in Rikers for like 2 years. He said, son, I could count the amount of Italian people on my one finger. It was him. He was the only one.
I was at Rikers one time in the 80s. And I remember I went in and I had a fight right away. And then I had another white kid come in right after me. And they started abusing him. And I told them, you got to fight back. And he wouldn't fight back.
Yeah.
They beat him up. And then when they came, they didn't take anybody else out of the holding cell. They just took him and put him in protective custody. And I tried to explain to him, it's better to get beat up than being in PC.
Yeah.
Because
Me,
once you-
whenever I went to jail, I just slept. I don't know. I took my shoe off, and that was my pillow, and I just slept for however long till they said, Joey Mo, you're out of here. So, I mean, that's always the best policy is sleeping. You know what I mean? You stay out of trouble that way.
Tony V says about Staten Island, it's not 55% Italian in the school system.
No, it's 50% Italian in the school system. Well, that's the problem with all right, so like me, I married an Italian woman, right? But like a lot of Italians don't marry an Italian. So their kids are like, mixed or whatever, you know what I mean? So they're not really full Italian or full American Italian. That's why the numbers are dwindling.
Well, they're dwindling because of me too. I married a Puerto Rican, a Mexican, and a Russian.
There you go.
And I have 2 kids with the Mexican and 1 kid with the Puerto Rican.
Yep, you probably.
So I just destroyed the bloodline.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The way you look, they needed that because normally, like, if you like a white guy or Italian gets with a Puerto Rican or a Mexican, the kids are normally good looking. So you really did
my
that
kids are
big.
beautiful. My kids, just ask my daughter. She's right in here. They're beautiful.
Because let me tell you, if your daughter looked like you, oh my God, we'd have to pray for her.
You'd be shocked how my kids look.
No, I bet you they're very good looking. I know.
Yeah.
I always say it.
What? What the fuck are you saying, Joe? You think you're some kind of beauty here?
No, I always say like, hey, if the dad is not that good looking, the daughter's beautiful. So
last night I noticed when you had that bald head, if you thin your beard out and put on glasses, you could pass for somebody's brother.
Who?
I'm not saying his name.
No way.
But you
fuck no.
But here's the difference.
Oh, wait.
Hey, I thought we were friends, prick. I'm never coming on your show again.
Well, here's the difference. At least you can grow a mustache.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can.
That's when you know nobody has an Italian blood in them, when they can't grow no hair. I never seen an Italian with no fucking hair.
Yeah, good point, Lee. Very good point.
I mean, then you got to say to yourself, okay, what cultures can't really grow hair in their face? And that's the culture you probably are. But a real Italian can grow hair in their face.
You said that last night. I didn't know who it was. Glasses and a thin beard.
That's what I meant.
I must really look like shit, huh? Because I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, damn, you're good looking. But I guess that my eyes are,
all you need is a hot blonde next to you.
That's it. Yep.
So when are you going to bring your wife on your show and start showing her that?
Never. When I'm gonna bring her, she fucking hates this. Look, she's ready to kill me right now.
Yeah, because you're screaming and yelling at everybody.
Oh, forget it. Let me tell you.
Middle of the day, we got.
I got the women calling me, texting me. Hey, are you single? You want to go out? Emailing me. Hey, I seen your show. You want to talk about sports and stuff like that? It's like, whoa, wait a minute now. I'm married, but I guess
that's what New Beginnings gets hit on continuously.
Does she?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Listen,
it's ridiculous.
New Beginnings is taken. Do you realize that? And you know who she's taken by?
I hear she's married to
MRE.
MRE. Oh, I thought she was married to MRE. There's all sorts of rumors going around.
No.
Okay, one week I'm her father.
She's very good looking. She's very good looking, NB. She wouldn't be with MRE. She wouldn't be with you or MRE. She wants a younger guy like myself.
I didn't say I was from Alabama.
Wait a minute, though. You know what I'm thinking about doing? Let me show you. I'm going to bust it out on your show.
As long as it ain't your penis.
No, you need a telescope to see that.
Well, I got that shit in my bathroom, dude.
I know you do. And I saw it on you. I said, damn, he looks good. Let me. So I'm thinking about hitting it up, but I don't know. I got medium dark brown. I don't know.
You gotta let a little gray in there. The women like that with a little gray.
Yeah,
I look sophisticated.
Just for Men doesn't have a color called American Italian, so I got medium dark brown. So I'll see if that works.
American Italian, like Afro color.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Very kinky and nappy. You know what I mean?
Because Italians, they don't know. There's that little thing. Did you ever see when Christopher Walken's talking about the Italians? No, in the movie with Dennis Hopper. You ever see that?
No. What's the name of it?
I can't think of the name of the movie, but Dennis Hopper's getting ready to get killed by Christopher Walken. It's like a gangster movie with, and then he starts. He knows he's going to die, so he has nothing to lose. And so then what he tells the
no, not King of New York. No.
He says to him, then he starts talking about the Moor, and he starts talking about how the Moors conquered Sicily and screwed half the women.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
It could be true. My grandfather was Sicilian. You wouldn't be able to see him. He'd be like, you see the black background, he'd blend into it.
The Sicilians are like the Brazilian people from Brazil.
Yeah.
You got very white people with blue eyes, and then you got dark-skinned people. I mean, that are literally, and that's what's happening in the United States now. You got a lot of mulattoes.
Yeah, the Brazilians are good-looking women too, man. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah. I want to take no women over Puerto Rican women. I'm sorry, I just can't.
I went with Italian because I figured
the name of the movie was
once a week. I could have lasagna once a week. I could have macaroni 8 days a week. You know what I mean? It was like, if I married a Puerto Rican, what would I be eating right now?
The name of the movie was True Romance.
Fucking Platanos Parmesan? No.
And you got to watch that movie. It's called True Romance.
True Romance.
Oh, that's a
great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. The cast in that movie, it was the first movie actually that James Gandolfini was in.
Oh, Gandolfini?
With Gandalf, whatever his name was.
AKA Tony Soprano?
Yeah, let me just say Tony Soprano. I'll say it correct. So he was in the movie, and he has a scene where he beats the daylight out of this woman, but you got to see it. It's a phenomenal fight scene.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gary Oldman plays a great role in that movie.
Gary Oldman's in it? Yeah.
Gary Oldman played a white Rastafarian.
Yeah. BK he's the Siskel and Ebert of this crew.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gave the thumbs up on the movie.
So there's always a leader of the crew. Who's the leader of your crew?
Who do you think?
Vinny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He'll lead us into the abyss. There's only one leader of the crew, and you know who that is?
BK.
Yes.
I've seen BK.
He's the leader.
BK looks like he would whip your ass if you got.
And let me tell you something. Remember one thing: the leader always pays for lunch, so he's the leader.
So when I get to New York,
Steven's the leader. Okay, today he's the leader.
You can take the lead over.
So when I get to New York and come visit you guys, I'm going to let BK be my leader.
When you come to New York and visit us, guys, we'll be on vacation in the Caribbean. So just let us know when you're coming.
No, I'm just going to show up at your door. I'm going to go around Staten. Hey, listen, the minute I get off that boat over, I'll take the boat over to Staten Island. The minute I get there, I'll get off and say, "Do you know where Joe?" I'm not going to say your last name.
You could say it.
And then I'll say your
Mama
name,
Luke.
and I know that everybody knows where you live in Staten Island.
Yep.
You know?
But my house is situated perfect to where if you were trying to sit on my house, I would see you. My house is higher up. It's like 10 feet off the street. So I'm looking down on you. And trust me, when I say I have guns in every room, I have multiple guns in every room.
There will be an army here in 2 seconds.
And my dogs, man,
an army.
They freaking hear every little thing.
I'll put my Polly up against your dogs anytime.
Yeah, but not my Maltese.
Oh.
He's a nasty, nasty boy, man. Let me tell you. He's actually Mexican. He's Maltese Chihuahua.
Well, mine is part Chihuahua, part Rat Terrier. So that's
very nasty little guy.
I'll tell anybody that they should have at least a dog that has Chihuahua in them
Yeah.
because they're the best watchdogs there
Oh,
are.
the best.
They could sense things out.
Yep.
And a matter of fact, my little dog provokes my big dog. My big dog be laying acting stupid, but
Same thing. Yep.
once the little one gets going, the big one's like, shit, I got to get going. The
Yep.
little one's acting tough, you know.
Yep.
But my
Listen, you're gonna listen. We got to get going,
okay.
and I feel sorry about that because we're having a good time, and I'll come on your show whenever you want. So you just
Okay.
let me know, and you have an open invitation on my
Yeah,
show.
Tell Vinny to get on my show.
I will.
Okay,
We'll
people.
talk more about it now.
Hey, people, I'm going to tell you something. Please, Joe's at a little bit under 5 in the subs. Let's, if you're subbed here, go sub to Joe. Joe's got a great
Please.
channel.
Please, thank you.
Okay, the only
Look, I promise I won't yell at my dogs on my channel. Okay.
there's only one thing they request, Joe. That
Yes.
you keep your hat on and don't look like the other guy.
What about a mask? Do you think I should wear a
No.
mask?
No, we just
No
don't want
mask?
you. We just don't want you looking like you belong in the other team.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have to go see Cy Sperling in the hair club comedian. So
Next
when I
time
get
we-
someone,
Next
Yeah.
time we see you, you're gonna have an
I'll,
Elvis Presley. An Elvis
I'll have a
Presley.
fro.
Sorry. You're gonna have a Jeff Nadeau hairdo. Sorry, Jeff. Don't get
Hey,
mad.
hey. I noticed he did his hair different the other day. It looked great. He pushed it back. He looked like he was Italian, Jeff.
Oh,
so.
one day it's up in the air like this, the next day it's down. I'm
Yeah.
jealous. I'm jealous because I can't do that. So this is
Thank
it
you,
for-
Grant and
this is it
everybody.
for
Vinny
me.
Green. Yep. NB,
Take
my
care,
dog.
man.
Yep.
Take care. Now I can hang out with the people here and read their stuff.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and thank
Okay.
you, Lee. I'll be in
Hey,
touch.
hey, take care.
You too. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Okay, guys. Joe's a great guy. I like having him here. With this pushback thing and stuff, there's certain guys that don't come on here no more. Listen, I don't believe in rats, but I will interview a rat because I believe that everybody should be interviewed. But that doesn't mean that I think like them, because I don't think like them, and I've never ratted in my life. And it's that simple. But I don't want people to tell me who I can have on my show. I'll have who I want on my show. And there's not a human being alive that will ever tell me otherwise. And that's one of the things, that's the only issue that I have with that program, which is it's a great, smart guy runs it and everything. But I have had a few people, my friends, and they don't even talk to me no more because they don't like the fact, like when I have Bobby Luisi on and stuff. Bobby Luisi was a real fucking gangster. Yeah, he was in the street during the wars. And he has bodies. So nobody can tell me if I can't have a real gangster on here. Talking about real gangsters, I got a real gangster coming on tomorrow who didn't snitch. And I'm going to talk to him about him right now. I'm going to put him up here in 1 second to show you who I have coming on. Tomorrow, he's been on Vlad. I got Frank DiMatteo coming on tomorrow. He's an author. And he wrote Mafia Hitman, The President Street. And he also has mobcandymag.com. And it used to be an actual magazine, but with the digital age, things change. You might want to check that out, but I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. He was with the Gallows for several years with that family. He was good friends to Bobby Borriello. And he was good friends to, he knew the Gallows. I did a show the other day on the little guy, this guy right here. He was good friends with him. And so he's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. He's a very interesting guy. And he'll be on here tomorrow. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you, I got a bunch of interviews lined up. Like I'm going crazy with interviews with real gangsters, and sometimes some of them have given information. Sometimes some of them haven't, but that doesn't take away from their time in the street and the things that they've seen. Unfortunately, a lot of people give information now because of RICO. But if you guys don't want me bringing them on, I don't know what to say to you. Tell me your opinion. I'll be more than glad to read it. And I know how Vinny Green feels. Vinny Green, thank you. Hey, Vinny Green, just so you do know, yesterday, my blog got 1,000 hits. And it's not my blog, it's on my website. But Anthony does it. And his stories are fantastic. But yesterday's story, out of every story we put up, that was the #1 story that of any blog story ever put up. And it kind of surprised me. But that's it, and then we have up maybe 12, 14 stories now on the blog. And I cannot believe how many hits the website. This website's gotten several thousand hits, and it's a brand new website. That's very unusual. And I don't know what to even think. It's mind-boggling to me that so many people are going to that website. But if you go to mobtubers.com, go check it out, and then go to the blog section. If you like good stories about real gangsters, gangsters that are the real deal. And the stories of these guys, none of them ever gave information. These are the real guys from the streets. Really check it out. But I'm just shocked how many people go see that. And would you believe that most of the people that read that, I go check the analytics in that all the time, are from California and New Jersey. So lots of guys from California reading them, and lots of guys from New Jersey. But as you know, in New Jersey, there's a lot of gangsters. And I've had a lot of them tell me that they like the stories. And it's not because I'm writing them. If I was writing them, it'd be in crayon. But the guy that writes these for me has been doing a wonderful job. Opinions are Texas or Stampede, Anthony, Luciano, Ramondo, I stand clear. Okay, let's read some of these. I'm going to try to catch up here a little bit. There's no photos or videos of any wrongdoing by the truckers in Ottawa. None whatsoever. The truckers have done nothing wrong. And they're keeping $10 million. They literally robbed $10 million. So a lot of people aren't going to bother to send in a form to get $5 back. And most of those donations were small donations. So now you got corrupt GoFundMe deciding where that money goes. Can you imagine where that money is going to go, people? Yeah, Anthony, you're right. GoFundMe always does this kind of stuff. I'll give you an example. Kyle Rittenhouse, he had $2 million saved up. They did it to him. And that was a defense fund. And as we know, Kyle Rittenhouse was found innocent. So they took his money. I mean, they said they only gave 10% of that money went back to the people that donated toward Kyle Rittenhouse. So yes, GoFundMe has done this before. Bay 8th is a virtue signaling liberal. His woke ideas will turn away. I had the NPC. I have that kind of feeling too, but that's the New Yorker. Italians in New York still have a lot of Democrat into them. They put the Comos in office. Let's remember that. Hopefully, the new generation of Italians will be learning not to vote for somebody just because their last name's Italian. Gibson is starting taking money for the truckers now as an alternative. Yep. Thank you for putting that up. Any alternative site over GoFundMe is worth going to. I will never, and I've given lots of times to GoFundMe, I will never, ever use GoFundMe again. Vinny, that's how you get on Lee's Pay No Mind list. Vinny, I didn't even know Vinny was here. Coop Lee, I am not a fan, but your heart is in the right place regarding this woke shit. Great, my man. Coop 11, why aren't you a fan? You got to let me know. But I hope you are a fan. This, don't believe what people say in other chat rooms, because usually 90% of it is BS. And we know who the biggest BSer is. God bless the truckers in this long haul. Yes, sirree, you're absolutely right. Could you imagine they're telling truckers that they got to do things? Without truckers, we have no food on the shelves. The truckers can literally shut down Canada. They could shut down the United States and Mexico if they wanted to. It's that simple. This is where you wish that Jimmy Hoffa was still alive. But unfortunately, back then, Jimmy Hoffa was a big supporter of the Democrats. Living in New York City makes people woke, even if they are Republicans. I don't mind what it is. You're right. I know a lot of people that live in New York, and they feel like they got to be woke in order to survive in New York. Absolutely right. Great point. Oh, Don Vito, we actually agree on something. That's what it is. Gender politics playing the race card. And I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to jump in. You got to have a face. If you have an avatar, you got to know who you are. Woke like, yep, I read that one already. I'm far behind. I got to catch up here, people. So I'm going to go down a little bit. Lee Colwell Carter is a push by the left to shut down anything conservative and push the LGBT stuff. Yep, Anthony, I couldn't have said it better. Do you guys see what's going on at CNN? So CNN, just Zucker had to step down. Chris Cuomo got fired. And now it's turning out that they were all in bed with Cuomo. And CNN was telling Cuomo what to do, giving him all his information and pushing a narrative for Cuomo. And they were and everybody there was involved. So right now you have another company moving in to buy CNN. And one of the guys that want to buy CNN is a big supporter of Trump. So you're going to see CNN quite possibly move in a dramatic new direction. And everybody there at CNN, you're going to see them, they're all going to lose their jobs. They're not getting ratings. They're plummeting in their ratings. CNN's in big trouble. And it all caught up with them. So let's just hope for the best and that CNN goes under. And they could change that whole format. Joey has the best news show, hands down. Bay 8th is in my. And listen, do you guys? I don't know if you guys watch Tim Pool, but I'm a big fan of Tim Pool, and I watch that show all the time. And Tim Pool's on at nighttime, and he has more viewers than CNN. So think about that. And he's a podcast. I can't, Grant, I got to be watch what I read because I'll get in the analytics and then they'll come after me. I'm on my way, Vinny. Okay. It is easy to vote communism in. The only problem is you have to shoot your way out of it. Great. You know what, Scott? I couldn't have said it better. I mean, that's great. My country has the 5th highest percentage of gun ownership in the country. Gaza, what country are you in? I know you're not talking about Australia. Okay, we're not going to get into him. He's trying to get his shit together. So let's all give be easy on Damien. He's literally trying to get his shit together. That I know, people. Riker. Oh my gosh, Rikers is so grimy. Ugh. Nobody wants to go to Rikers, believe me. It's worse now than back in the 80s. That's for damn sure. And it was bad in the 80s. Now forget it. Joe, I want to meet you at the bus station washroom up. Oh. Who the hell is? Why did you guys let this clown in here? Can't get my head around Damien, big tough guy, and banished for hanging with a mean. Well, like I said, Italians' numbers are dwindling because of mass migration, not mixed marriages. Let me explain something about here in Texas. There's an old Spanish here. The older generations of Spanish, they basically built Texas, and they are very conservative. They are against all this mass migration and everything. They're totally against it. They don't want it. So, the old, I would say if you're Spanish, you've been here for over 30 years, what's happening is wrong right now, and you don't want it because of what it's going to do to your neighborhoods, where crime is going to go massively up. That's what it comes down to. Joey Sneakers, close those blinds. There are a lot of glare coming. Why do you guys pick on Joe, man? He's a good guy. He really is. Okay, Joe Bay8th is now famous and gets mobbed in public due to his YouTube channel. I thought that was the other guy, if you know what I mean. He has paparazzis outside his house. Mikey is going to be filing the claim. He described that the incident was at fault of another guy who's lifting metal because, okay, Mikey's finger. Jeff, how you doing, my man? I hope everything's going good with you. Okay, I'm going to try to catch up here. I'm 25 minutes behind in my, okay, let's see if we can catch up here. If you're still here, Jeff, I watched your show this morning. It was pretty good. I like when you change from one direction to another. He and FBI turned court who believes ghosts collected 6. The vast majority of Southern Italians are descended from ancient Greeks. That is bullshit, Lees. Blacks never left Sahara until the 60s. So when did the racial... Hey, Richie, I was kind of mocking it, making fun of it. I didn't say it happened. So don't get sensitive, okay? I said that, and all of a sudden you're saying, you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute. I'm Sicilian. You mean that I got some more blood in me? No, Richie, I didn't mean that. I'm just telling you something that was said in the movie, True Romance, and it was quite funny. So stop being so serious, Richie. Go watch True Romance and get a good laugh because it was Dennis Hopper at his absolute best. And you guys know who Dennis Hopper was. He was a great, great actor. And unfortunately, we don't have actors like Dennis Hopper. Just picture this. Dennis Hopper in a scene at his best with Christopher Walken at his best. That was the scene. 2 actors like that. You don't have many actors like that you'll see them in a scene together like that. Sonny, you're going to live soon? Okay. So I didn't even know Sonny was here. Got some new dispensary bud, and it's pretty good. Better than Adam. Where are you from that you're getting dispensary bud? Joey Sneakers. Joey Sneakers. God, is admitting they have a leader. God, you guys are hard on Joe. I swear to God. You know what it is? You guys pick on Joe because you know it bothers him. And see, that's the thing. Once you guys know that someone gets bothered by comments, it's like you circle the wagons and you go after him. Just because you know you're going to get his goat, Joe's going to get pissed off and start yelling. Come on. Americans will become as dangerous as Brazil in the future. So they're already as dangerous as Brazil. You kidding me? Some areas in America are as dangerous as any areas in Brazil. Would you walk through certain areas of Chicago? There's certain areas of Baltimore, Detroit, Atlanta, Orlando, Houston, New Orleans. I just had some friends go to New Orleans, and they were in New Orleans 20 years ago, and they didn't even recognize it. New Orleans, they were scared to leave Bourbon Street. All the cops were at Bourbon Street, but all the areas around their area of New Orleans is a danger zone now. No area is safe. So these cities in America are as dangerous as any area of Brazil. And if you don't believe me, go walk to those neighborhoods. Adam, he frequently jokes about Vinny being a leader. Some Sicilians have ancestors from Phoenicians, which were in and around North Africa's, but you could look up at the people like Hannibal. He was a Carthage, but looked a little different back then. And that's what I mean. Hannibal did conquer part of Sicily. So I don't understand why people get so angry at that. They don't want to hear it. They want to pretend it doesn't exist. And, and look at Sicily and all those areas of Italy right now. They have slums in them all over the place. I mean, the whole world's going to hell. I mean, look at that Gomorrah series on TV. I mean, I'm in the middle of watching that series right now. I mean, and that's current day Italy. Naples, I think it was. But just think about that. I mean, current day. 15 dispensary grade, was it on sale? Lee, come visit me at Gravesend. I don't know what that is, Vinny. You could jump on here, Vinny. If you're still here, I'm gonna put the link. Jump in. Don't be afraid to jump in because of that pushback will get angry that you showed up on my show. Okay, Sonny, good to hear you, kid. Was Sonny in here? Oh, I have an enforcer to come over as well as we keep the chat in check. Salute. The Truth, $999 per pound seems like you would be getting a Skechers quality sneaker rather than a rare sneaker like Hootie has. I like the buds that are more like Hootie's rare sneakers. Like 31% TH. Oh my gosh, now we got a weed conversation going on in here. See, when you start these shows, you never know where it's going to go. Well, I'll be honest with you. Jeff's show is growing quicker than anybody's show, and my show has grown real quick. I've gained almost 500 subs in the last 30 days. 400 and something subs, honestly. So people are watching, people are liking the shows, and people here want people to put up interviews with guys that were actually in the mob. A lot of people are here for mob stuff. Hey, Vinny, you never been on my show before.
No, first time. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. Hanging out.
Hey, some guys got mad when I'm talking about Hannibal and in Sicily.
Yeah, I seen a movie. I think it was called True Romance. It's supposed to be like a joke, I guess.
Wasn't it one of the funniest scenes I ever seen with Dennis Hopper? And right before they killed him. I mean,
he was sitting in a chair, I believe.
Yeah, they had him tied up, and he was having a cigarette. He knew his end was there, so he was going to go out like a trooper. You know? So, you know, it was just a matter of fact, the guy that played the Italian guy, Christopher Walken, was so mad that he shot him himself. And then he says, and I haven't shot nobody in 20 years.
Yeah, you know, some people get a little bit, what's the word? Like you said, sensitive.
Hey, last time I talked to you, last time I was on a show, which was a couple months ago,
Yep.
and you had some type of lunch going on. How did that go off?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We had like, I would say like maybe like 200 people.
And it was good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Seafood, meats, pastas, live music, drinks.
Hey, do you know Frank DiMatteo?
I've heard of him. I've heard of him. You say he's from Court Street?
No, he was actually with the Gallows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came up.
Mention to him if he knew Frankie Martin.
He knew he basically he did Vlad TV. He's not a rat, and he brags. He'll tell you point blank, you know, that he's not a. And there's no evidence of him being one. But his father was a bodyguard for Frank Gallo.
Oh, okay.
And but his father was a made man. This guy never became a made man, but he had every opportunity. He even got proposed.
Yep.
And,
Well, sometimes you don't have to be made to have like juice in the street.
just ask Jimmy Burke, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And this guy has a fascinating story, and some of the pictures that he has on his site, Mob Candy, it's called mobcandymag.com.
Yeah.
He has actual pictures that he took of the Gallows, hundreds of them.
Nice.
I mean, of Joe, all of them. And I don't know if you've seen that I did a video on the midget that was with them a couple shows ago.
I remember that guy. I used to see him around in Brooklyn.
And so a guy said he was a little guy, but he had big balls.
Yeah, and he was a fun dude too.
And if you hung around the Gallows, you had to have some real in you. They weren't no joke.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Gallows, they used to put like chicken wire around the windows. So if somebody would throw like a grenade or something, it would bounce back.
Well, I'll tell you, man, though, once Joe Gallo got killed, that war got so bloody, and so many of those Gallows got shot and killed. I mean, I think Bobby Borriello, he made a smart move. Well, you know, he was very loyal to the Gallows, but I mean, I know he went to the Gambinos after that. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. But this guy that's coming on tomorrow, was very good friends with him. They were very close. And
yeah, if you remember, Lee, ask him if he knew of Frankie Martin down on Court Street.
I'm sure he did, and I'll definitely mention it to him.
And Lee, Gravesend is my neighborhood.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I heard you said you're gonna come to New York to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do,
What
definitely let me know.
What part of Gravesend are you in, if I may ask?
I'm on the west side.
And how's that area now?
It's basically, it got inundated by like Asians, but
Right.
there's still Italians. I would say here and there.
You know, isn't it kind of? How old are you, if I may ask?
I would say like in the 50-year-old range.
Now, well, then you're at that range where you've seen one thing and you've seen it change.
Yes.
Now when I lived in Brooklyn, I was on Bragg Street. I don't know if you know where that is.
Sheepshead Bay.
Yeah, Sheepshead Bay. And I was right across, from the where the boats are down by the water there.
Yes.
Yeah, I was right. The building I lived in, you could literally walk out and see it right there. But I was going to say, when I was there, it was a lot of Italians still there.
Absolutely.
And then, now you can't even recognize it.
Now it's all like Russian.
Yeah.
There's some Irish, but mostly Russians.
And the rents, you can't even touch the rents there now.
No, no. There used to be a club right next to the yacht club there. It was
Yeah.
called Paradise. It was like a nightclub. And like, all who's who used to go there like Friday nights. It was a good time.
And what year are you talking about then?
Like late 80s, 90s in that neighborhood.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of sad because Brooklyn is like that's what Brooklyn was. I mean, that area of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Just-
Bay, Bensonhurst, Gravesend, Bay Ridge.
now part of it is yuppies and oh gosh. You see what
Actually, Lee, the yuppies are more like in like Park Slope and like
Yeah.
Williamsburg.
yeah, I'm talking up by the yuppies would be up near the bridge
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
other side of the bridge there because they want to be near Manhattan.
Yeah. I thought about you the other day. I was in Scatoros.
Oh, so how's Scaturo still look? Are they still busy?
Yeah. They only got the one location though on 11th Avenue now.
Yeah, that's the one I worked on.
Yeah. They
Did
used
you-
to have more than one, but I guess they sold them or whatever they did.
It's sad because you know what it is? The Pathmarks came along and stuff and pushed them out of business.
Yeah.
I don't even think Pathmark's around anymore.
No, I think they sold out.
Yeah. And remember when Pathmark was the big thing?
Yep.
And I can't even, they didn't last long, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does Scaturo still have the meat section?
Yes.
The butchers and stuff?
Yeah. Butchers, the deli, all of that.
And they still got the good Italian deli, right?
Yeah.
I
Thank
went
God.
out, I went out yesterday looking for Supersod, could not find any.
Well, send me your address. I'll send you some.
I'll do that, man. Yeah, I could not find any. I cannot find mortadella here anywhere.
Oh God,
There's no
that
such-
happened to me when I was out of state. We seen this place, Lee. It had the Italian name and everything. We went in there. I asked for mortadella. The guy was looking at me like I was fucking nuts.
Yeah. You couldn't even find head cheese. Not that I want to find it.
Yeah,
But
I know a guy that makes his own Superside at home.
how you doing, JC?
Excellent. Hey, congratulations on landing Frank DiMatteo.
So you know Frank?
No, I've seen him on Vlad. Yeah, I remember seeing his interviews before. I've talked to him just incidentally, on Instagram and other places. We had chatted about having him on the old Hootie and JC show back in the day, but we had a few weeks scheduled ahead in advance, and then everything went where it went. But you're doing great. You've got the great numbers. Jeff Nadeau as well. I see on the screen that Lee Cole and Jeff are the kings of MobTube. I'm glad I appeared on Lee's show right when that was on the screen, because that's absolutely true. You guys are killing it.
You know, it's funny, JC. I was wondering whether I was going to ever start growing again. And then all of a sudden, I did a couple Sammy Gravano videos. And the next thing I know, I got in that algorithm. And the channel's been growing. Like today, I picked up another 17 subs. I'm like, where the hell are these people coming from?
Yeah, well, it shows that when they first get introduced to you through a keyword like Sam Gravano or the other ones that are more well known, they like the videos that they get recommended after that, and that
Hey,
makes
Vinny,
them come back.
I want to ask Vinny a question. Vinny, what is your opinion, your honest opinion of Sammy Gravano?
Sammy Gravano, all I can say is this: the guy was an opportunist. Every person that he clipped, it was over business. It had nothing to do with like Cosa Nostra. And then in the end, he folded. He wasn't what he put out in like his image. He wasn't a true street guy.
But let me ask you another question, though. When we talk about that, if those tapes weren't made, and I was thinking about this yesterday, and if those tapes weren't made, would any of that ever have happened?
Yes.
How?
Well, if you listen to the tapes, you could tell that they were in discussion of clipping him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So one way or the other, it's going to get back because
He was going. He was going one way or another.
Yeah, because in that world, it's a talking business. So no matter if you're not going to know the bugs are there or not. You know what I mean?
Do you think Gotti would have got him before he got Gotti?
Nah, Gotti would have took him out first.
Yeah, I think you're right because Gotti was still very powerful when he got busted.
Gotti had a big, strong crew
Yeah,
compared to Sammy the Bull.
yeah. And
Sammy the Bull clipped people in his own crew because they were all junkies.
Yeah, including his best friend
Yep, and his brother-in-law.
and his brother-in-law. Well, I can understand him clipping his brother-in-law. I had a couple brother-in-laws I would think about.
Yeah, it's always the man. I'm gonna miss my brother-in-law. Dang it, the guy that's smashing your sister. I gotta kill him. Damn it, too bad. Man.
I just find it fascinating.
I can't understand how what I can't understand is how she would stay with him after knowing what he did to your brother. You know what I mean?
You know, a lot of women stay in relationships, and you'll wonder about it. You know, I wonder about any woman that ever stayed with me. I mean, you know, and so Vinny, what do you think? And I did a show on this, and some people got mad, and I just spoke the truth. I think I talked about. I never thought I'd see the day where Sammy Gravano would rehabilitate his image. There was a time, Vinny, if you remember correctly, Sammy Gravano was on every newspaper with a head on top of a rat.
Yeah.
And here he is 25 years later, 30 years later, and it's like 60, 70% of the people don't even remember it.
Well, the thing with that is like he might think he has a new image, but he never will. He only has a new image in the eyes of people that don't know him or what's the word, ever was involved in that lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Now that's the generation though that they're going after. They're going after the 35 and below people. And when they went on ABC, that's the majority of the viewers that night were in the 17 to 49 year age bracket. So when you think about it, somebody's, but here's what I think about it. He's 78. How much longer can he rehabilitate his image though? Because, he's 78.
Well,
Yeah.
His image lives beyond him though, and he'll have his daughter and others to promote his image long after he goes. And so, the generation part is absolutely true because you get to the below Generation X level, you have people who are starting to have their world defined for them by being inside and being in front of a computer and a world that have social media that targets them with different types of promotions and all that. And they didn't experience the regular exterior outer world, we'll say. They didn't go out on the streets, and do anything. So for them, they had it all crafted, and it's been slowly manipulated to where being an informant is a plus for these people. They promote Tekashi. They promote all kinds of people that are rats and informents. And they don't even demand
that Tekashi thing's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
what they do is, in the reality is that it's the world has been flipped on its head in terms of Generation X and above, what we experienced, boomers and going on up versus the generations after that. And there's no dissing or anything like that. It's just everybody's born into the world and the tech that's out there at the time they're born. So, it's going to get worse. And I think it's going to be more like that where, guys who inform on others, the quickest one to snitch is going to be the one most promoted in the future.
Hey, Vinny, I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
Do you think the mob is pretty much dead?
I don't think so.
Do you think they're still out there, but they're like doing a new racket?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can't.
If it does exist, it's going to be white collar crime.
Now,
Yes.
and I remember that because a guy that I used to work for, remember Lehman Brothers?
Yes.
Okay, he was he was a maid man, but he worked for Lehman Brothers, and I'm sorry, he was an associate, not a maid man, but he could have been. He was an associate, but he worked for Lehman Brothers, and remember when Lehman Brothers went under?
Yes.
And a lot of that had to do with all the money that was robbed from there. So, are you talking about stuff like that going on?
Yes, absolutely. Like all the labor shit. I mean, it might be here or there, but white collar crime is basically where it's at.
Yeah, it's the safest and the most profitable in many ways. They can, even if they get caught, if as long as they're not pulling, you know, what happened with Bernie Madoff or something like that, they'll get 5-year sentences, maybe a decade at the most, but usually way less than that. And it's in a cushy federal, institution. And if they made off with millions.
And you know something, that Bernie Madoff, when you think about what he did, was some horrible stuff. But karma's a bitch. When you think about his 2 sons dying the way they died, and he was still alive to see all this, it's like his karma and his punishment was so severe. I mean, sure, he destroyed people's lives and he stole money, but he had a son die of cancer. He had a son commit suicide, all while he was alive.
Yeah, you know what? His whole mentality was like a old school gangster Al Capone type. After his first son, Jeff, did that to himself, his reaction was, Jeff was a tough soldier. I respect what he did. He basically viewed it the way, a military leader would at the end of the line where they're going down at the last moment. Like everybody's got to kill themselves for you, your own family. He viewed it like, another gangster got rid of himself before any evidence could come out. That's how he saw it.
It's scary too. I'm not a big Robert De Niro fan, but when he played that Madoff role, he looked just like Madoff. It was hell of a makeup job. Did you see that movie?
Yes.
What did you think of the movie, Vinny?
I thought it was a great movie. The only thing I didn't like was the son fucking ratted out his own father, but I thought it was a great movie. Like, I can't believe that he actually got away with that for so long.
Oh.
He didn't even have a fucking what's it called, to the stock market. He didn't even have an account. He was just depositing money in a bank account.
And he had a floor. He had a floor in the building that was literally meant to cover everything up.
Yeah.
The 11th floor, was it? I think it was the 11th floor.
Yeah, it's called the Lipstick Building. It's on East 53rd Street in Manhattan.
And when you think about the money, he took everybody from like Kevin Bacon, actors.
Mm-hmm.
He wiped Kevin Bacon and his wife out of their whole fortune.
Yeah. Can you believe he was the chairman of NASDAQ?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Didn't he serve on the ethics committee for NASDAQ for a term? He's on the ethics committee and he's robbing the place blind. Hey, let's move our cops into enforcing stuff like that a little bit more.
Here's the
DEA
question.
investigators, move them over to, or ATF investigators, move them over to find Wall Street, man.
Would you guys say it was probably the biggest ripoff maybe ever?
One of, yes.
By one person, I'd say not by in terms.
I'm not talking about a leader of a country.
But yeah,
I'm talking about one person.
His biggest thing was he robbed other wealthy people, and that's what really got him the hatchet over that.
And he had no money.
Yeah,
he had no money. He just stole money.
That's how scammers are. They make a lot of money real fast, whether they're scamming on Wall Street or begging on YouTube, and they spend it all. Then they're broke again. They're broke again.
Wait a minute,
and they got to try to re-up.
Wait a minute, JC. What do you mean begging on YouTube?
Not that.
Where did that come from?
Obviously, you don't do that, so that's a wonderful thing.
Are you insinuating somebody or something, JC?
I would never do anything like that.
It just came out of the blue, begging on YouTube.
Yeah, it happens to be a good example for this. That's all. Just happened to pop up in my mind.
It sounds like to me you're trying to get on someone's show tonight. That's what it sounds like to me, JC.
I don't have to try to get on that show. That I get on that show. That show's chat ensures I get on that show.
And you know what's funny
Yeah.
about you, Jeff? Jeff gets blocked, but he always shows up in that show as somebody else. You always get on that show, Jeff. I got to give you credit.
Yeah, but yeah, and look, it's scammers like that, big, small, whatever. They have the same tendency to just blow the money.
But
just-
you know what? If we're
You know,
can you put Madoff down if you're a fan of gangsters?
well,
Vinny.
he definitely is. I saw in one of the first interviews about him was from a guy who was a legit like DC gangster, gangbanger on the street who served federal time with him, who said when he walked in, they respected him from day one. They viewed him as like a master villain, and they wanted to chat with him to find out his tips on stocks and everything else so they could call their friends on the street with drug money, get them to, and so they viewed Madoff, this guy got out and he was one of the first ones, and I remember him saying that they respect him, they liked him, they loved him, they even called him Mr. Madoff. They weren't even
Vinny, would
yeah.
Vinny, would you consider Madoff somewhat of a gangster?
Yes, he was definitely with someone. Because from what I heard, when he went to Allenwood, like JC was saying, when he walked in, everyone was like applauding him.
And same thing with Martha Stewart. When she went to prison, they kept her in population, and the girls loved her. When she got out of prison, she actually stayed in touch with a lot of those girls. Said that she literally changed their lives when she was in there. So doesn't Martha Stewart deserve a little credit too?
Yeah.
Why is it that Martha Stewart and Bernie Madoff would looked upon when they, you got rich people that go in prison and right away they're in lockup, they're in protective custody, but then you got Madoff come in, and you got Martha Stewart come in, and they go into population.
Well, I think they were in like a low security type of
Oh
situation.
yeah.
Was Madoff in low security, or
I believe so.
Yeah, because he would be considered a nonviolent criminal. So he would he would be at medium at best, because if you have no violence in your background, you could rob $1 billion, but if it's done nonviolently, you're considered a nonviolent offender.
And could you imagine some of the info he had on some big people?
Oh yeah.
They're going to make sure that even if he goes to prison,
he had to have some on the others, because he had survived just fine in there. He had zero problems. If he didn't have dirt back on somebody, then I'm sure a guy like him would have magically, committed suicide in his cell. But Madoff was a good, I won't say good. I hate using that word with guys like him. He was an effective chess player in the whole scam world, the Wall Street scam world. And he's a throwback to the old days where guys, he's old enough to say, hey, when I was a kid, the Great Depression was just, getting.
That's like people say Jimmy Hoffa's their hero. How much money did Jimmy Hoffa take from the Teamsters Union? From the average Joe on the street, how much money did Jimmy Hoffa take from them? Vinny, what do you think about that, Vinny?
When their insurance rates kept going up and up and up because the fund was being robbed, and then instead of having a low deductible, union workers in the 70s and 80s were having these high deductibles all of a sudden. And that's not because the healthcare got better for them. It was because the mob was robbing the fund.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article where they were talking about, like I mentioned this on the show before, the Empire State Building was paying $100,000 a week to have their trash removed. $100,000 a week. And it went, after those gangsters got busted, it went down to 10,000. Literally, it was 10 times higher than it should have been.
Yeah.
Just like when the Stardust was raided by the FBI and resold to a legit owner, the legit owner, thought that the profits from the casino were going to be one level. The profits went through the roof, and it wasn't because of more gamblers. It's because there was no more skimming, and the mob skim was out of there. and the guy who bought the Stardust came up on a big fortune unexpectedly. You know, and that lets you know how much they rob from institutions. The Empire State Building, Vegas casinos on the Strip back in the day. They did all kinds of real estate scams in the West. They, you know, anything you could think of. Florida, they had scams there. They ran Miami for a while.
Now, what
You
do you
know,
guys think of?
It's always
What do you
been
guys
around
think? What do you guys think about a guy like Howard Hughes that literally walked in and bought these casinos from the mobsters? Do you think that they sold it to him because he had the money to buy them?
Yeah, and it took heat off of them.
Yeah.
They were starting to be IRS and some FBI, not a whole lot, but mainly IRS issues because of front ownership and all that. Hughes was an easy guy to get rid of them too. It's cashing out your chips. You're the house, you're always winning anyways at a certain point. Made a fortune, cashed out, and they laid low for a while, and they went back in.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to cut my show short today, but I appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you very much, JC. Vinny, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime, Lee.
Okay, and
Yeah,
you're
great to
welcome
talk to
anytime.
Vinny, have a good one, Lee.
Nice to
Take
meet you.
care. Joe, okay. Listen, well, today I'm going to cut it a little bit short. Got things to do, some UFC fights on. But I just want to thank everybody for being here. And please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. You could like, and please check out my blog at mobtubers.com. We have a good story up there, and we got a new one coming tomorrow too. We put up new stories on the blog every couple of days. But thanks everybody for being here, and looking forward to seeing you all back. And I got that interview tomorrow, and hope to see you. Take care.